What's the reason why a Rolex would be more valuable than any other wristwatch? Maybe let me say Swatch or something, for example. And it's because of the value placed on it. Even though the value might not be accordance to the, to whatever it is. Maybe if it's the chain is this or whatever it is, if it's VS or whatever. But it's the value everyone has placed on it, just like diamond. You get what I mean? So I feel like when you place a huge value in yourself, I like to think like a commodity. When you put a value on a commodity and you see yourself as one, as a product, then you could probably say, okay, I have a value of $1 million on my head. And then you start seeing yourself differently as someone who is valuable. So I feel like when you see the world as a whole, as a Disneyland, where it's like a chess game, where like I feel like it's interesting because if you now downplay who you can become, one of the things that the Jewish people have is they have something to prove. Always have something to prove. So wherever you are, it's more like it's war.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
And that's where my mentality.
And I mean, I'm looking at it from a point of being a black person in the room. There's this one of my coaches. His name is Myron Golden. I don't know if you heard of him. So he preaches. He's one of the most intelligent guys I've listened to.
Yeah.
And looking at it from, he's American. Black American. And looking from how Americans think and how we are in Australia, where it's more of like a white-dominated community. At the same time, I see from a point of there's an advantage because one thing that everyone looks for is someone who is kind to them. And when you walk into a room and you're kind to everyone, not even thinking about who is white or who is black, first that makes you human. I feel like a lot of times we put so much pressure on ourselves because of our skin color. But it's more about being human wherever you are. You get what I mean? So kindness is like the value you sell to every other person, even if it's black or white. If I'm kind to you, you will like me for a reason.
Yeah, it's value creation.
Exactly. So when we walk into a room with that mentality, that it's not about white or black, it's just about being human. And I feel like it really changes every perspective.
Yes, because when you get to a point of merit, right, black or white does not matter. Because I heard a good point one time where a white millionaire and a black millionaire aren't talking about racial issues, right? Just like a gay millionaire and a straight millionaire, they're not talking about LGBT matters. They're living in their own world because you have to get to a point of you have to get past the point of skin color because you get to a rooms where it's on merit, and that's what determines how far you excel in life or anywhere, right? So that comment about pressure and victim mentality, that's nothing for you other than just put you back 10 steps back. Because you're thinking skin first and then merit, which is what we all have to overcome. But then it gets to a point where you're like, no, this is actually empowering because when I get to a point of merit, right, and I succeed, this will sustain me, actually put me in a far better. Because man, we don't want to get to a point about white and black, but there's a point where sometimes it's like they think so low of you, right? And they think they're better than you. Once they know that that they're not better than you, they can't catch you, right? But you feeling the pressure or feeling like a victim fits into right what they perceive.
Yeah, true. That's a good point. My experience in Australia has taught me that.
Yeah.
Like when a lot of some white people see like they can catch up with you and they see let me not even use the word can catch up with you, when they see like you're very effective or efficient in whatever you're doing. For some of them it's very threatening. For some of them it's very they actually like you more.
So let's think back. Where does this kind of mentality come from? Why does someone choose to play victim all the time?
History has made us feel like everyone's against us, the world's against, which is somewhat true, right? But we're now in a generation where most of those things don't matter. You can still look at Australia, in a country where you can still get racism, which is normal for many other cultures as well. You can succeed. You can far succeed. You can still succeed very well as a human being in any field you choose to be in. That doesn't really stop you. It's annoying. It's like that little pain in your ankle and your Achilles heel.
Yeah.
But you can still move on and continue on with your life.
Yeah. I actually hate the victim mentality, man.
It's the worst, man.
This leads us to the next topic I was going to introduce, which is one thing that is trending, the black fatigue.
Yes.
Black fatigue is what everyone is talking about right now on social media.
Define it.
The definition. Thank you, Professor, for asking. Tony is the professor, right? Black fatigue is when, like, a lot of people, a lot of different races, like whites, Asians, Arabs, and even some black people are just tired of blacks that feel like they're victims every time.
Yeah.
And
it's exhausting. That's what
it's actually exhausting to me that a black person, when I see a black it's exhausting when I walk into a room and a black person is doing, they do this to me. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like,
it's totally fatigued.
I'm tired, bro. I'm tired. Like, bro, I know these things exist. I know there's racism. I know some people are not nice, and it's not even racism. Some people from different races are not nice.
Yeah.
The same thing. Some people as black people, some black people are not nice. We know that, but don't sit down and cry about that shit all the time. Does black fatigue affect you as a black person? Is it not exhausting when you see? You get where I'm coming from, right? Yeah. Let's take those people out of the picture. Let's focus on ourselves. Where you go into a room full of black people, and you know, like, I might get stabbed. And I'm just coming here to have fun. I'm tired of that shit. You know, like, somebody might start a fight, they might punch me.
You start to avoid your own.
I share a story with you.
Yeah.
You know that day we were supposed to, I think we were doing something, yourself and your friend, I've forgotten his name, the one that drives the Benz. Kali, yeah. And then we were supposed to, like, I was going to meet you in that club. I knew, bro.
You don't have to finish the story. Okay. We're in a club, right? We're in a white club. And he came with his partner and we're all chilling. Me, I think Chika and Kali. We're chilling. It was fun. And we're going to go to a white club after that.
No, we went to a white club first.
We went to a white club, so we were chilling in a white club, And we're going to go to a black club after. Yes, so my bad. And as soon as I told my guy, I'm like, we're going to this club. I said, there's some black, you know. This guy was just looking at me like this. I knew he was going to escape.
And finally, Tony said, "Oh, my nobody say no, you can't come."
I know you won't. And then, bro, as soon as we go to this club, I kept calling him, bro. This guy didn't answer my call. After a while, it's like, bro, I'm tired. I want to go home.
And I'll tell you why.
And to crown it,
in
the end, I told this guy, I'm like, he made the right move. Someone almost attacked me that same day, bro.
To white spaces and have to psychoanalyze ourselves. What am I wearing? What am I? How am I presenting? But now it's reverse. It's in our own spaces we do that. Right? We go to a black car, be like, man, am I being too flashy because somebody's gonna feel insecure? Right? You're always psychoanalyzing yourself.
Yeah.
Because you don't. What the perception of you by your counterparts or your own people could be very fatal. Because insecurities is what is the most insecure people in our community, I think, are the ones that claim victim.
I'll share this story with you, but the reason why I kind of have like a little bit of, think twice before I go into like a black space is because my first 3-4 months in Australia, I went to a club, and it was a black club. I can't remember the name. And for some reason, the person that invited me to this club got into a fight. And I saw, I'm hardcore, I'm a street guy.
Yeah.
But not in a foreign land.
No.
Not in a foreign land. You know what I mean? I'm in the foreign land.
You don't even want to step out of yourself and do that.
Exactly. And this guy got into a fight and there was, punches and everything, flying around. Jew, first time at JJC, I don't know anything. And this guy gets into a fight. How do I get home? This guy's supposed to drive me home, whatever it is, and this guy's in the fight.
Bullshit, man.
It's like, if one person starts, we're all in it.
Exactly.
And that's another very bad thing about our community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're all expected to be a part of those things.
Exactly.
And there's a lot of things we've all outgrown in our community.
Yeah.
But what it happened to me, I'll speak about my own experiences. I went to a school where I was the second ever black kid in my school. So I've seen things like I've seen it all on both sides.
You had bunnies everywhere.
Yeah, early on.
Snow bunnies everywhere.
Dr. Omar.
It was no.
Dr. Omar is gonna catch you.
But look, it was the greatest experience of my life because early on I didn't know myself. I was doing a lot of things to conform and fit in.
But I feel like, I mean, just to cut you, I'm going to credit you for surviving that space. I feel like it's even a different struggle.
It's hard because this is what was happening. I was trying to fit in there, but then when I would come back to my own, people would be like, "Oh, you think you're better than us?
You're white.
Yeah, you're a white boy." I got the white boy a lot. I got the "you think you're better than us" a lot. So I was always in the middle. I didn't fit into my own school, and my own people were pushed. I was just always in the middle.
Yeah, and
you know.
Yeah.
And I think Tony knows this too. I think the time me and Tony became really good friends was the time I went through a lot of changes, and I thought I needed to be more involved in my community, my own people.
Yeah.
But a lot of my bad experiences per se came in that journey of me trying to fit into my own community. Imagine that. Me being myself have to fit into my own community.
When I met Joe, it was like
that was when
I was tired.
It was
fatigued.
right?
When I met him, he was still bunny humping a lot. Then at one time, Joe is I think he likes to mix Coke and Fanta these days. It is what it is.
Why were you tired of Joe? You're saying you were tired.
I think I got to a point where I lost someone. This is Tony knows his story. I lost someone very close to me at that time, and she was a big part of our community. And I remember her, what she meant to me, and what was hurtful was, it was a long time till I hadn't seen it in a while, and it made me realize how far removed I was from my own community, because I wasn't around as much. And this was somebody who basically helped raise me when I was a child. And that made me want to be more involved in my own community, right? So I wouldn't say 360, I 180, right? But it was like I had to unlearn things as well. But then I got to a point now where I'm like, I was chopping and changing too much, but I have my own identity, right? But I got to a point where I know myself in that space where I was the second ever black kid in my school. And where I am now in my own community, I know myself. I can identify who fits in that way, regardless of how people perceive it. Even though I got exceptions at the end in my own space in high school, there were still people who had negative perceptions of me. Just like now, there is people who still think, oh, he's arrogant, he dressed like this, he talks like this. But that's life, and that's what it is. You just always got to know yourself, and you can walk with so much freedom when you know yourself.
True.
Growing up, the parents always tell us to be resilient, how to. We never had any parents encouraging complaint or playing victim. I mean,
I'll connect to that question.
How did we find ourselves complaining?
I'm talking to Tony about this. Tony has a good perspective on this.
Connect to that question,
yeah.
So, the generation before, so I'll say the parent, they were more of the mentality of be careful, not to, get into problems, not to get into, police or whatever issues, you get what I mean? And then we came with the mentality of, don't forget, we didn't grow up here, you get what I mean? So we came with the idea of, man, it can be done. You get what I mean? Like, bro, I'm too black to not be successful.
Yes.
You get what I mean? But our parents came with the more with the be careful, don't get into trouble, da. But they were not playing victim mentality, but they're being careful so that you don't get into that problem. Because they know that this generation of the millennium, whatever it is,
the victim mentality came from us.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think our parents had it worse. The ones that they had it worse, man. Like we don't have an excuse, bro.
And that's what I mean.
That's what I'm saying. They didn't complain.
Everyone is
because they didn't complain because it's more of they were looking after the kids.
Yeah.
The kids should be careful. We are ready to take whatever the country, the economy gives us.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? But because they know.
We take.
Exactly.
And then complain when it's not going.
Exactly. They'll probably complain internally within the household.
But
they don't go out there to complain. But we have the voice.
Yeah.
We have the platform to say
opportunity.
And we are not even complaining. We're just saying, look, every black person out there, yo, you got it.
Yeah.
You can do it.
You can literally do it.
You can do it.
Done.
It's been done.
It's been done.
It's
By
been
people
done.
younger than you.
Exactly. And look, guess what, yeah? If you look at the American history, if you follow the American history, it's a replica of what's going to happen in Australia. Because now the black community is going to grow bigger. Just when it started back then in American history, there was not so much black people. You know what I mean?
And it happened.
And it happened at the end of the day. And when I was speaking to Dr. Umar, I was asking him a question that how did they communicate this whole blackness to the younger ones? And they said it was through drama. They were showing them the history. Because the funny thing is that like people that grew up in the black community, the black kids that grew up here, they don't know what happened back home. So what they did in America was that they showed them through drama of history. You know what I mean? So if we're able to educate the ones that are growing here about the history of the black community or the African community, I feel like they'll be able to understand it better. Yeah. Why we carry so much energy in ourselves and we're demanding so much from them. And one of the reasons why the kids don't know why their parents are demanding so much from them is because they just don't get it.
When we talk about community growing, the black community, yeah, we're expanding, right?
Yeah.
And our community is growing in different parts of the world. But are we united? Are we closely knitted? And that's the problem. The essence of community growing with us being divisive. And there's one big topic that's trending right now. And I want us to talk about it because there's this struggle between FBA Black Americans, which is fear of being what's the definition of FBA?
FBA.
Yeah, I think it's called
Fear Black Americans.
They're just saying they're not fear of being African.
Yeah,
I think that's it. They're just saying they're not Africans. Black Americans, certain Black Americans saying they're not African. So there's this fight between FBAs in the US, which are those that are afraid that say they're not actually Black Africans. They're not. Their ancestors are not Black Africans, and so it's them on one side, and there's the African diaspora on the other side.
Yeah.
African diaspora and the Caribbeans and all that on the other side. So it's do you think that even though we're expanding and our community is growing, do you think we would ever achieve anything concrete? Because it does seem like every other race in diaspora are doing great things.
Yes.
Like if you look into the Chinese or the Asians, Japanese and all that, when they travel to any country, they get it right. Indians are getting it right. If you look at the Lebanese, they're getting it right. Why is it still like us black are still, I mean, we can exempt some communities in the black, but as a whole, as a race, I think we are still suffering because of the fact of these divisions we have. So we're expanding, but nothing is really happening for us.
All right. So I'll look at it from point of business, right? What makes us, like, for example, there's this conversation going on TikTok here. The Jewish dollar. So if a dollar hits the Jewish community, it goes around 12 times before it leaves their community. It goes around 7 times before it leaves the Indian community. And it goes around less than a time, like less than 1 time in the African community. Why is that? Now, the reason is because the Jewish community, if I'm going to buy a property, I'll probably go to a Jewish guy to buy the property. If I'm going to buy a car, I'll probably go to a Jewish dealership. Because I'm Jewish anyway. You get what I mean? So there's something the money is going round in between us. You get what I mean? In the Indian community, I'm going to buy a house. If you go to Tanit now, in Tanit, it's a huge Indian community in there.
They call it Little India.
Yeah, man. So, in the African community, the problem is that we are not positioned in those places of decision making. If I'm going to buy a property today, I don't know any African real estate guy to buy a property from.
Why?
Is that because you live in Australia?
I'm talking about Australia anyway.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know anyone. So that's what I'm saying. Like, what brings us together is that dollar. Now, everyone is focusing towards the same direction, which is when you get into this country, what do you want to do? I don't want to mention it. You got me? Get into that job where you're doing back to back, whatever it is. You got me? But it's not. What is really making a community successful is the fact that the dollar goes around that community a couple times before it leaves the community.
I'll add something to it. I think the problem we have in our communities, it's more cultural. What's black culture? Black culture in many parts of many black communities toxic is a culture where you get money, you want to go buy jewelry. It's a culture when you get money, you just want to spend it. Culture is a culture where when you get money, some black culture, not all black culture, it's they just want to spend it and live lavishly. In some culture, it's like people hustle hard to send money back home. That's black culture. In some culture, it's like I want to buy a house and be better than my other black brother. It's toxic cultures. I'm a black person. I'm proud of being black. Nothing would ever change that. But if we have to change this, how we are perceived, not even if you have to change the structures, the business structures of our community, then we need to call out what we are doing wrong and start changing it. We have certain culture, certain things we do that I feel like is toxic. Like you said, with Black Americans, and I know I might get crucified for this, it's more like I want to buy all the jewelries. For us Africans that travel in diaspora, it's like I need to hustle hard and send all the money back home, even if I'm dying of high blood pressure. We have certain traits that is slowing us down, holding us back. And then there's this envy part of it. I want to be better than the next black guy or the next black lady. I'm doing this to oppress the next person. Yeah. And until we start changing all these things. Africans have theirs, Caribbeans have theirs. Black Americans, let's not stop just pointing at the Black Americans. Yeah,
I think it goes deeper and it adds to your point too. I think what we focus on as black people is perception. A lot of us focus on perception, how we're perceived.
Yeah.
Right? If your life could be going to shit.
Yeah.
But it's how you look on the outside. It can go back to our history of always being the outcasted culture where we've always felt like, and then once you're accepted, it's like, yeah, I'm in. And we do this thing where we always want to be, no matter, we can sit around black people, but as long as there's one A, right? We always want to feel one A, one B. There's always an element of always having to feel better or bigger than. Everybody does it in some ways, and I feel like that's what holds us back. There's never unity in that way. We talk about the different cultures. You see Italians sitting together.
Yeah.
Focus on the same mission, trying to establish legacy, life, family. You see it in most cultures in Australia, Asian cultures, European cultures, Italians, Greeks, Lebanese, Chinese, Japanese. Like all these cultures have an element of let's do it all together. Chinese, they want to open a business. They give each other their own loans.
Yeah.
They give each other loans.
Yep.
And you look at that, you're like, where do we do that in our own culture? We don't, Now we could go to a Chinese guy who's doing that and he's accepted me and I'm making good money with him. What does a black person do? Am I bringing the next person, guys? Like, no, I'm bigger than all of you. It's that insecurity of always feeling bigger and better than. And like Tony said, I feel like there's things we actually need to look within ourselves and ask ourselves why we do it. And once we identify and find the root cause of those things, we'll be more progressive because there's nothing stopping us. If we're unified, man, we can take over the world, like so many things. But it's our own selves that divide us.
There's something about community wealth. And if you look at the Jewish people here, what did they say? We kind of like victimize ourselves a lot because, we feel like we're the only ones who are going through that. But the Jewish people, they went through worse.
Lord, that's what I was saying. We dramatize our
exactly. We're too dramatic.
We're too dramatic.
We're too dramatic, bro. The Jewish people that we're talking about today, when they go into America, they had to fight. They had to fight for themselves. They became independent because when someone was successful, a Jewish person that was successful, like the Levi James, when he became successful, what he did was that he employed over 1,000 Jewish people into his factory to make jeans. And that was because he was seeing the future, that I need to empower my people so that we can become competitive in the future. See, the reason why the black, the African community suffers a lot is because we're so much thinking about the short term, never the long term. If you think 10 years, 15 years time, you make better decisions in life. Because if I'm thinking about the people that are not even in Australia yet, I'm going to do something right just so that when people come into Australia, they'll benefit from it. So I'm thinking 15, 10 years time. I'll probably make better decisions. But I feel like the African community we dramatize so much things about victimizing ourselves. But I feel like it's an opportunity. So I'll give you this for example. Yeah, there was a situation in the world. There was going to be a flood in the world that was going to, kill everyone basically. And then the Jewish person said, "This is an opportunity for us to come up with an idea of how to survive during this flood." I feel like the way you actually interpret a problem is the way you create a solution. A lot of times as an African community, we kind of like interpret our problems as a victim. And then we become so dramatic about like the whole world should know that things are not going right for us. Look at Kemi in UK. She talks about the Nigerian community like it's a piece of shit. And I don't blame her.
That's a very typical example how we hate ourselves.
Exactly. And I don't blame her because she went through all the struggles.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree very much with your point. I'll just not correct, but answer the Jews question. Historically, Jews have their history. We have our own history. I don't feel like you can really determine who had it worse, right? Everyone just had it bad.
What I'm saying is,
hold on.
We both had it worse.
But you made a really good point about how you interpret a problem is how you create a solution.
Yeah.
The Jews interpret their history like, okay, it's an opportunity for us to now be more unified.
Yeah, and empower ourselves.
And just go for it. That's where we deviated as Black people, right? Some have succeeded through that. Some haven't. A lot of us, it's become individual. Yeah. In an individual way where we've survived it. A lot of people have gone and said, okay, look, I need to empower myself.
Yeah.
Right? Regardless of what I've been through. And it's a good way.
Yeah.
You still need to empower yourself as a human being. Right? And a lot of people have succeeded through that, but not many people have brought others along with them. Right? Some feel like, why should I? I've done it. You should do it too because I've been through the same shit. But a Jewish person can still extend a rope.
Exactly.
And be like, look, regardless.
Yeah.
Only somebody can do so much. If I have a way to do something better, I'm still going to help the next person. And that's where we deviate. We're so individualistic in our success, right? It's in our music, it's in our culture, right? It's always 1A. And that's what we strive to be.
Yeah.
How many times I want to be like him? We never say I want to be like them. It's always him because it's always one guy at the top. In music, you see in music, it's always, I'm the number one, I'm the number one, I'm the one. Everyone says I'm the best, I'm the best. No, we are the best, And in our culture, in the way we do things. And it goes back to your point about leadership. We've had people that have tried to unify us, right? And it hasn't ended well. A lot of our leaders have all been, in somewhat assassinated in that way of like, there's been forces against them that have brought them down in one way or another. So we've never had that position of like leadership where we're like, oh man, I'm empowered by him. You are, but you also feel scared because you're like, man, I don't know. I look how that ended, But I want to be like this guy who's made it all himself because of what he's been through, and I identify with his story. And it's good. Like it has its perks and benefits. It's okay to really empower yourself and be the best version of yourself. But there's an element of like, okay, other people haven't had the same opportunities as me. Let me try my best. But then we also romanticize helping people. We want to glorify. You're like, oh yeah, look at me. I'm doing this. I'm helping this community.
Yeah.
Some people just do it. You will never hear a Jewish person say, I helped 1 million people or 100 people. But we feel the need to be like, I'm the one doing this. I set up this. I need to be known as the guy who did this. It's an insecurity that is so deeply rooted in us.
Talking about the Jewish people and empowering the next person. Because if you look at the world as a very big space where everyone can succeed, just like how the stars shine in the sky, all by themselves. No one is actually stopping the other person from shining. So if we kind of like narrow our mindset, then it becomes very individualized. But when we kind of like explore and expand our mindset, then we can realize that everyone can actually become successful. Like for me, like in Australia, my mind and my vision is that we're able to create a community well.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not focusing on the community well whereby it's just focused on the black people alone. I'm focused on the community whereby it's focused on people with the same mindset as me.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, we're all human. And I don't want to focus on the part where it's just all about the black skin. Because then again, I'm being racist. Now, we forget that actually, as a black person, we can actually be racist too.
Yeah.
You can be racist too. I'm writing a book here. It's titled I Can Change My Mind Whenever I Want. And you talked about unlearning. In that book, I talked about unlearning in that book. And because you don't get certificate for unlearning what you know, people don't know that it's actually something to rejoice about. When we come in here as an immigrant to a foreign land, to a different community, we have to unlearn everything we know.
Definitely.
From back home. And then now we learn those things that are here, the Western culture. And then kind of like mix it up with what we already know from back home. You get what I mean? So unlearning is a very important part of we becoming successful in diaspora.
Wonderful.
You get what I mean? So my book is going to be out very soon. It's probably going to be in
shameless plug.
Very soon. But yeah, just talking about unlearning, because that's what I had to do for 2 years. I had to unlearn everything I knew from Nigeria, and then start thinking more corporate.
But I feel like there's a point to unlearning where you're unlearning perceptions that are unadaptable to the way you live in now. But you also don't want to completely remove your true identity.
No, I'm going to be authentic.
Exactly.
100%. Originality is always going to sell.
You still want to be maintained, because that's what ultimately is going to distinguish you from the rest.
Yeah.
And that's when all those things are removed from you in some way.
Yeah.
That's who you're truly going to be.
I'm going to use this as an example. And every time I think about it. So my name is Georgia Kunle Sweet. Yeah. And every time I tell people sweet, yeah. But guess what, yeah? I still kind of like recollect just Anthony talking about Aru. Changing, telling people that, look, I'm not just this person, I'm also Aru. Trust me, bro. Every time I go out and I tell people my name is Kunle, I still remember what you said.
Yeah.
Because our identity might just be, based on our name alone. You get what I mean? And you don't want to throw that away. Even if you throw every other thing away, but that name is so important to us.
It carries weight.
It carries weight, bro.
So much weight.
It carries weight. And see, like every time, like I still kind of like your voice just comes in my head when I'm introducing myself to people. A lot of times I tell people my name is Sweet, but I know that's an English name. But Kunle is like my identity. So when you call me Kunle as whoever you are, it reminds me of who I am. You get what I mean? I don't want to throw that away. So as a black person or as an African, even if it's that thing you hold on to that you don't unlearn, you owe that.
Stay with your name.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you talk about unlearning.
Yeah.
It brings me to this question I always have in my mind. Because there's this crisis going on nowadays. Because people are confusing unlearning and also trying to change who you are just to belong or to fit.
Yeah.
How can you help someone who with that kind of confusion?
I was talking about it, of what I was talking to last time in the podcast. The journey of identity crisis in Australia, if you don't have the capacity to, Australia is so fast for a lot of people. From where we come from, there's so much adapting you have to do from the get-go as soon as you land. And most of it is because you want to establish yourself so bad. People want to fit in so bad because you're being told the only way for you to be something is you become one of us. Because some people feel like you're being forced onto them, right? It's not a welcoming experience. You later find those types of people, but you get to a journey where you're like, oh, for me to get to this level, I have to speak that way. I have to change my hair, my style, the way I dress, literally reduce yourself and your identity to fit in. And I did that for many years. Yeah. And you get to a point where no matter how hard you try, there's people always reminding you who you are. So you say to yourself, why can't I just be that person? Why am I trying to escape that? Right? No matter how much you try to fit in, they will always remind you that you're an African man, African woman. Right? So why would I be ashamed of that identity? Why don't I just you embrace own it more? Yeah. You know, instead of looking at it as a negative thing, because that's the only thing you have, and it's the only thing you've been pushed to.
I'm gonna answer Joe's question. Yeah. So talking about unlearning. Unlearning is basically unlearning things that you believe in. You know, which is probably you probably learned something for a couple years.
Yeah.
And then now you come to a Western world, and then you're like, okay, yeah, I need to. I mean, first of all, it's about being intentional. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a huge similarity between learning and being lost in identity. Mm-hmm. Just like you said, identity crisis. So, you might if you don't have a focus on learning and you put in your mind that I'm actually on learning, not losing identity. Now, what Jules was saying, people think they're on learning, but what they were trying to do was losing identity of who they were.
Yeah, that's not on learning. That's just shit.
That's not on learning.
That's change.
So you need to always convince yourself that what I'm doing is I'm on learning the things I already knew from wherever I was coming from.
Because it's what it is. It's like a drug. Yeah. Right? People feel this is so good, it's better than what I've been. Yeah. That forget that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that anymore. Because that hasn't done me any good. It's only bad me. Yeah. It's only brought me bad things. So I don't want to be associated with who I truly am. You even come to your own house, you start talking to your family different. Looking at them different. You're looking down on them, because that's it sort of makes you feel empowered.
Yeah.
But then as you get deep into that, you get to a point where you're like, you will never ever fit in truly, right? And because they're doing everything to push you out.
Like I said, the mind is the most powerful tool that we can use to become who we want to be. Yeah. And if you see it more like these are humans more than the skin, then you can actually make better decisions than you focusing more on who is white and who is not. You get what I mean? Who is black and who is not.
Everybody bleeds like you.
You get what I mean? Exactly. So if I'd rather just focus on my mind and how good I can become. Because I've met a lot of CEOs, I've met a lot of business people, and they look at me and they're like, you're such a good face for your brand. Bro, that's a white person telling me that. So they're not even thinking about racism. They're looking at me from the point of, what? This guy is authentic. This guy has something to offer. Now, if you start saying that from the point, say, if you're not self-reliant on who you are, then you probably start looking for external validations.
The world will. If you don't know yourself, the world will tell you who you are. Yeah.
If I'm not self-reliant on who I am, I start looking for, I need you to tell me that I'm good before I believe I'm good. Nah, bro, I'm delusional. I'm good. I'm delusional. Don't worry about it. Yeah. You don't have to tell me that I'm dressing good. I know I'm dressing well.
Brother. I like that. The talk you have with yourself in the mirror. If you saw me in the mirror in my own house, you would think this man is a madman. The shit I be saying to myself.
If you can,
you have to. You have to tell yourself those things.
If you can all have that confidence, you always have in our mirrors.
Now, T.
No one will ever complain. Yeah. No one will ever play this nonsense of victim mentality.
Yeah. You have to remind yourself who you are.
See, the problem is that we don't have enough role models to show us that it's possible. Yeah. I came into the I saw a black man driving a Bentley. What I told myself was, I'm going to drive that car too.
But you didn't ask him out.
Nah, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because it's doable. Bro, the GDP of this country is 1.7 trillion. Money is running around everywhere. But no one is trying to catch it.
Definitely, what he's saying is true. Because there's this one thing that happened to me when I was here. My boss just told me, we were just having a conversation. He's a black man.
Yeah.
His company, like last year, the living was over $30 million. Wow. He's a black man. He was born on the continent. He left the continent when he was 18. It's not like he was born in... Yes, when he left the continent, he went to America. He spent like 20 years there. He comes here. His own company. $30 million. That's
revenue.
Revenue. So one day, he said, look, young man, just don't look at me as a boss. Just look at me like your uncle or your old African brother. Just feel free to talk to me. But one day he told me, hey, what do you do in the weekend? I say, I play soccer. If I'm not playing soccer, I see my aunties. He said, hey, you see, that's the problems are. if you're going to hang around with those aunties who have been here doing all this type of job, you understand? Come, just one day, he invited me where they're playing golf. I drove all the way to Barwick. That's where he lives. But I was so surprised to see in his group, there are like 5 black guys. There are 3 Kenyan and 2 South Africans. Those guys, like 3 of them, they own their IT company. Bro,
you never hear about it.
Never. It's the first time seeing 5 black men millionaires in Australia. All I knew to make it here is to get as much shift as you can. It's to wipe as more nash as you can. But if you meet those type of people, but you'll be like, man, this guy was born on the continent. He left the continent when he was grown up like the same way I did. That's kind of...
That's a trigger.
That's kind of the trigger.
I started taking my music serious when someone said, "You're sleeping, boy. You're fucking time bomb.
You're snoring."
It's like your music should be every day, because he said it's like, you've got fucking talent. Where have you been? And this is a successful African guy that told me. So you're sleeping, boy. And it's like, and he said something like, this thing could change almost everybody's life. Everybody around you could change your life. And you're selling it for 5 back-to-back shifts. And then I'm like, that's true. And it's like, what's holding you back? Who are you? And I'm like, yes. I thought about it. I reflected. And the only thing holding me back was back-to-back shifts. So I'm like, okay, I'm still going to work. But the beautiful thing we can't take away about Australia is that you can have a job on the side that funds what you want to do.
Exactly.
But don't bury your head. That's not you.
Exactly.
Still do your job. You're lucky in Australia. You can have something on the side where you hustle, make $2,000-$3,000 a fortnight. Some people, but when you start aiming to use those,
same, when you're trying to make it $10,000,
you know what it is. I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
It's that thing where they preach to us as Africans. You go on, or black people, where you're hard workers. You know, they tell you, you guys are strong. You're resilient. You can do anything. You know, and you come here thinking you can handle 3 jobs. You might be making good money, but at what expense? Right?
How long?
At how long?
How long?
You're in a job. You're making money in a job that doesn't serve you, doesn't stimulate you. Doesn't
inspire you.
Doesn't inspire you. Doesn't motivate you to be who you truly want to be. It actually takes time away from you, right? But we feel like because we're doing this, we're actually doing a good thing. It's doing more harm than good, right? And we get caught up in it. How many people are on those jobs where time is just...
Aru, I'm going to ask you a quick question. How many people are ready to sacrifice their weekend shift to pursue their own goal?
Yeah.
How many people? Answer me.
Me and Tony,
How many people are willing to sacrifice their weekend shift to come to our podcast?
Yeah. Yep.
Or play just
or
play soccer.
Social soccer.
Yeah.
Me and Tony, we started this soccer group for years. The struggle with, we put it on weekdays and weekends. We have more people on weekdays than weekends. Right? Where in most cultures, weekends is where people are playing,
family
hanging
time,
out, you see in a restaurant, playing whatever. And every time we call someone like, nah, I have a shift. I have a shift. I can't make it. I have a shift. We had to change our times to appease to the people.
How rich have you gotten from doing weekend shifts? How rich did you become other than paying taxes?
Tell me.
I'll go tax more.
Tax more?
Tell me. Oh, $65 an hour, $70 an hour. At what cost?
So I feel like, I've met a couple of people, and I feel like every time I meet them, I kind of like encourage them not to forget why they were actually, planning to come to Australia in the first place and why you're here. I see a lot of guys who probably, were cybersecurity back home. They come to Nigeria, they become, this new person. And then that's how,
that's Australia, they become this.
Australia, they become this. What did I say? Nigeria. and they kind of like change focus because the money is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But who has become a millionaire from that?
The thing is, I don't care how hard you work, as long as you're working for someone, you would never be that successful to be a millionaire and all that. The point is, the harder you work, the more another person that's sitting somewhere makes more money. You're making more money for somebody.
Even those people that have weekends off.
But I think since we're talking about our community, let's take this conversation further, because I like that. Many people have died in the Western world hustling back to back, especially Africa.
Don't even use that. How many people have lost their minds?
How many people have lost their health?
Yep.
How many people have just lost? In general. Anything in that capacity.
It's stupid, bro. Like, we come to this Western world and we become, like, walking animals. Like,
because we think we can handle it because we're African, we're strong, and we're resilient. Like what I was saying.
I heard a story of a man in our community, and he was popular back then. I don't know him, but the story went rampant, and everyone's like, I saw the barrier and all that, barrier rights. And this guy bought a house.
Oh, yeah.
You heard the story, right? He just bought a house, and bought a car.
Yeah.
And
died of a heart attack on shift.
On shift. And I don't know him. Rest his soul. But when I hear stories like that, it's like, bro, I'm done with my shift today. I'm going home. I'm done. I'm going home, bro.
Cancel all you have.
I'm feeling smooth like that day tomorrow. I'm sick.
You know what it is?
Fuck that.
I've learned also, we don't have patience, right? We don't have patience to give
delayed gratification.
Delayed gratification.
Yeah.
We don't have the delayed gratification to give ourselves the time to just focus on something, because most of those things take time, right? We want things now. And then when we get things now, we get comfortable. But that's not what we want. It's just sustaining us for the time being. Whereas if we focus a lot of good things, how many successful people would tell you it took them this much time to get to where they're at?
It takes years anyways.
It takes years.
Even Jesus Christ. It took him 30-something years to become Jesus Christ. You get what I mean?
Warren Buffett did become a millionaire till he was 56 years of age.
Elon Musk, it took him years to become.
If that's what you want with your life.
Yeah, I mean, so see, like I was saying earlier, if you're thinking futuristic, 10, 15 years, see, people can't do it. It's hard to think 15 years ahead.
That's why there's a small percentage of people that do it.
If you can think 15, 10 years ahead, you become a better person. Even God himself was a God of people.
Because what happens in that time...
Preacher man.
But I'm a preacher man.
I believe it.
But that's what happens. In those periods where there's nothing happening,
exactly,
right? You start to doubt yourself, question yourself.
The problem is that you think you're rich just because you moved to Australia. You're still broke, bro. Just because you're making 1,000 or 2,000 a week, you're still broke. And then because you feel like you're rich, you're trying to help every other person. You're not rich, bro. Richness or wealth comes from financial freedom. Now, you want to help people back home. Now, there's a mentality. Are you helping people back home because you want to help them, because you want them to know that you're rich?
And I'll add to what Swede is saying. You made a point, which is a great point, where we come from. And it takes time to change that mentality. It takes generation. It takes one person to change it. One person has to wake up. One person has to wake up and be like, I'm going to be selfish. If you're not selfish, you will not be rich. And I'm saying, if you're not selfish, you will not succeed. So it takes one person to be like, I'm tired of this whole thing. I'm not going to kill myself working. I'm not going to save everyone back home. But most importantly, I'm not going to work back to back. I'll just do what I need to do. A good example is, how many Asians have you seen, maybe except Indians, other Asians, how many Asians have you seen that work back to back?
Never see.
They always have plans. They work too sometimes when they come. Especially if they come from poor family.
They work hard.
They work hard, but most times
for a period of time.
Yeah, it's either they work back to back for a period of time, or they just do one shift and go home.
It's delayed.
They save up, and once you see them, they aim at $30,000. They use that money to change their life. Sometimes it's the vision you also have. You know that there are people that can change your life with 10, 20, 30,000. There are other people that think they need to save up $600,000 to change their life.
Tony said is very true. If you don't have a vision with anything you want to achieve, you will fall to working shift work and doing back to back.
Exactly.
Right? Because the people that have visions, I've met people in this industry. Well, they do shift work, but they have goals or they're working toward things. right? So they're just taking that time to get to that goal, and then they're out. Some people say, I want to be this in one day, and then the next time they want to do this, they want to do this. But then their goals change to things like superficial things. You know, liabilities. I want to buy a car. You know, I want to just do things that, you know, are still goals, but they're not physical goals.
Yeah.
They're not things that, when you speak with somebody who's got real vision, things that can multiply. A bit different. You know when someone's got that passion. Someone who's got that vision will have their head down and not worry about anything else, and just put things off for a period until they get to that and build that. So a lot of us, we don't have vision. We don't even know what we want. And oftentimes when we have vision, it's because of somebody else has got it and we want to do it better than them.
Vision is like a drug. You die off after 2 days.
Yeah.
But how do you stay motivated? And I feel like that's why a lot of African guys kind of like lost it in a couple months. Because then again, they come into this country. Oh, you probably speak to this guy and telling you that, I studied IT from Deakin University where you were paying $5,000 per unit. And you're doing 4 units, that's 20 grand.
I went to Deakin, we were paying 20,000
exactly. Per trimester, that's 3 months,
5
bro.
semester, yeah.
20 grand per trimester. And you're doing 3 in a year. So that's 60.
60.
Now, I would sit down with you and listen to you if you're doing that for 2 years straight, just to pay your school fees.
Yeah.
And you probably do it an extra year, just to kind of like find yourself and find your space.
100%.
If you're doing that for the next 5 years,
Yeah, because I have a personal testimony.
Your motivation.
When I get here, I was still at school. I used to work like 4 nights away from home.
Me too.
I used to sleep like in the house, like 2 days.
Probably once or twice in a week.
Twice in a week. And then when my wife get here, and then she said, "Bro, I want shift back. She can't see me only Friday." She said, I didn't know you were killing yourself. I'm going back. If you keep living like this, I'm going back home.
You want to make her a widow, bro?
Yeah. She said, I didn't marry to a military guy.
Yeah.
Because she's from the military guys. I tried to avoid all military guys. And then she said, just once you finish school, try to slow down. Once I finished school, I slowed down. And she told me, look, you can't live 2 lives. Because before I came, I had a house back home which wasn't finished. She said, look, let's sell that. I think you are stressed by that house. Let's sell it. We can't live 2 lives. Let's focus in. Slow down. We're going to survive. I'm going this way. You go this way. We survive. There's no way to kill yourself.
Takes 2.
It takes 2. And then the moment she said, you can't live 2 lives. Let's focus here. If it doesn't work, we start afresh.
We'll just round it up with this. In the Western world, if you die working shift back to back because you want to please your wife or you want to please people back home, let me put it this way. Somebody else, and it's blunt, somebody else is going to fuck your wife.
Yeah.
Somebody else is going to live in your property. Next of kin is going to spend your money.
If it ain't you, it's another.
And this is hard. This is a harsh truth. A lot of brothers, Africans, are dying because they work beyond what they're supposed to, the hours they're supposed to work.
Their capacity.
They're comparing themselves.
No holidays.
Yeah, they don't take holidays. They don't take rest. A lot of young men are dying, leaving their wife as widows. We need to do more. We need to do better. I learned the hard way.
Which way was that?
Where?
Bro, you're married.
But personally, I learned the hard because I lost 2 people in my family, and I learned. And it's funny because when I lost, I don't want to bring this story back and forth, but losing my dad, losing my brother, I was the one that gave their assets. And what I thought is I didn't want to touch this. It's none of my business. But what I was thinking is they didn't go with this shit. So that changed everything about me. Oh, I'm not going to go with this money I'm hustling.
Your assets will be given.
I know maybe Joe is going to take it out.
Give it to me.
Yeah, but
don't give it to me when you're going. Give it to me now.
The point is because we are going to a different session of what we're doing, and everyone will be involved because there's some other guys there. We should do what we can, do our best, pause, focus on our goals. You don't need to make $300,000-$400,000 from shift.
Tell them it takes time.
It takes time.
Give yourself time.
It takes time.
Build your goal. And also, us Africans should know that every other person is different. If somebody else is focusing on music and your passion is IT, focus on IT. It doesn't mean you can't do shift here and there, but don't kill yourself. Don't destroy your mental health.
Do internship for 3 months. If you come into this country, you can do internship for 3 months for free. Call the company, tell them I want to do internship with you for 3 months. Don't pay me.
Yeah.
And you can go to your shifts if you want to.
Exactly.
Side,
yes, yes. And
because in this country, it's all about the experience.
Yes, and before we go, I would like everyone to say one thing they've learned from this before we jump into this the next session. I'll start from Juice, the guy behind the camera.
Please.
So, Juice, tell us in one sentence, tell us what you've picked from this entire conversation.
What I picked from this entire conversation is that there is more to life, more than complaining. There is more to life other than working till you die.
Joe.
Look, I'll summarize in this way, based on the topics. You're not a victim.
Yeah.
You just need to apply yourself. But you don't overwork yourself in something that isn't applicable to the life that you envision. Right? And just live in alignment with the life that you, or the person or the life you want to be. And in proximity on that. Align yourself with people and environment that empowers you to be the very best version of yourself.
Beautiful, beautiful. I think one thing I've picked is there's racism which affects black people globally. No one is saying that shit doesn't exist. But what hurts the most is black fatigue. The one about it does to me pains me more than the one a white nation does to me. That one cuts deeper. What it does to me, black fatigue, what's more than racism? Yeah.
For me, before you racism, think human. Think about everyone being human. So that way you have the advantage. Before you think about, I'm at disadvantage. You got me. And guess what? Yeah, real goals take time.
Yeah.
Give yourself 5, 10, 15 years. Those are real goals.
But think 15 years, the people who are meant to impress back home, they'll be dead, bro. No?
They'll be dead.
I want to start them before they die.
And lastly,
When this guy comes
shout out to Mrs. Sweet. He loves you very much.
Oh, yeah, shout out my wife, bro. That's the best thing that happened to me, bro.
It's been a good session, but yeah, peace and love. Peace and love.
Peace and love to everyone. Shalom.
Yeah.